Hi, boys and girls. It is the creator of Bored with Miss Reynolds, Better Off Reading Every Day, and have I got a good one for you. We are all decked out in our pink, and we are reading Pinkalicious Story Time. Pinkalicious Story Time. And every time is a good time for board and story time. We were at a book fair waiting in line. I was going to meet my hero, Princess Plum. I have all her books. Princess Plum is kind. She is smart. She grants magic wishes and wears a sparkly purple tiara. I love her stories. I hope she signs my book, I told my mommy. I couldn't believe I was going to meet a real princess at last. But when we got to the front of the line, I was very surprised. Instead of a princess, I saw a man. Is Princess Plum a man? I said. I'm Sid Silver. I'm Sid Silver. The man laughed. I'm the author of Princess Plum. That means I write books about her. But how can you write about being a princess if you aren't one? I asked. When you're an author, you can tell all sorts of stories, said Mr. Silver. Princess Plum is a character I made up. Stories can be about anyone or anything you want. Just use your imagination. That afternoon, I couldn't stop thinking about what Mr. Silver had said. I decided to give it a try. I imagined I could fly and wrote about soaring around Pinkville. In my story, I made the clouds into cotton candy. After that, I wrote about a tea party with dancing spoons and cups. I wrote about a garden growing under my bed. I wrote about a family of pirates that lives inside the washing machine. I couldn't stop writing. At dinner time, I wrote about a broccoli jungle and sweet potato mountains. At bedtime, I wrote about a pair of bunny slippers hopping all over the house. At school on Monday, I came up with more ideas. I wrote them all down. I was too busy to listen to my teacher, Miss Penny. I was writing about a pink panda when Miss Penny tapped my shoulder. Pinkalicious, she said, what are you doing? I gulped. I told Miss Penny everything about meeting the author, Sid Silver, and writing stories all day long. I'm sorry for not paying attention, I said. Well, said Miss Penny, paying attention is very important, but so is being creative. I think I have an idea. Listen, everybody, said Miss Penny. This week you are all going to be authors. We will have special writing time so you can work on your stories. And on Friday, we'll have our own class book festival. At recess, we talked about our ideas. I'm writing about a penguin named Percy, said Molly. I'm writing about a family of giants who live in the rainforest, said Rose. Allison's book was the biggest surprise. It didn't have any words. She was making a comic book story with only pictures. We worked hard all week. I finished the story about flying through the cotton candy clouds. I drew the cover and added an about the author page. Pinkalicious is from Pinkville, I wrote. She loves writing, baking cupcakes, and anything pink. On Friday, we read our stories out loud. We signed our books. It was so much fun. Before I went home, I told Miss Penny I had one last thing to write. Dear Mr. Silver, you may not be a princess who grants wishes, but your books are full of magic. Thank you for helping me see that I am a writer too. Pinkalicious. And that is the end of Pinkalicious story time. Boys and girls, it is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. I don't own the rights to this book that I have read to you, but I love storytelling magic. And today's magic is finding out that your favorite author who writes about princesses is not a girl. And that's what Pinkalicious found out here. I find out all kinds of things when I read and when I am being bored. Better off reading every day. I wrote a lot in school. I wrote a lot of poetry. And it made me feel so much better when I was writing poetry. I hardly get to write poetry these days, but I look back on the poetry that I write and it makes me so happy that I captured my feelings in the poetry that I was writing back then. And also, I love pink and I love pretending. And a lot of the pretending that I do is not necessarily who I am all the time. I just love to have fun and I love to get into characters and I like to become the book like I do every single time I read to you. Here we are. This is one of my friend's pink dresses from one of her dance recitals that her mom gave me for dress up. And when we play dress up here at school, we become anything we pretend to be. And the girls and the boys have a really good time. So any chance you get out there and have fun and pretend and be creative. It is so much fun. I'll see you again soon. Mwah. Bye. Pinkalicious. A story. So much pink, so little time.